And welcome to the Talon Outdoors show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
And I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tyre.
And I'm Grant.
We got stuff to talk about this show. I mean, I would normally walk in here and go, what we're going to talk about?
Fred we always have something to talk about. You, on the other hand.
I don't know.
I forgot to tell you about my trip to Clearwater last weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was the water clear?
It was clear, but I didn't realize we got caught up in the middle of, on a Sunday morning, in the middle of a Scientology thing going on.
That's where they're headquartered, yep.
And they were walking around, and you ever seen them? So they dress up like bellhops. They look like zombie bellhops walking around.
You see Tom Cruise?
I hadn't seen him, but
John Travolta?
Didn't see him either. I guess they were in the. This way, Laura looked it up on the property appraiser thing. They did a little research because they where the headquarters were.
Yeah, they own that whole downtown
area.
area.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, they got plenty of money because they have all those big name stars.
Yeah, well, apparently this joint that we drove by
L.
was
Ron
like
Hubbard.
the Scientology jail, where if you've been a bad Scientologist, they stick you in there until you get right with the
Scientology, with L. Ron.
With the universe.
Yeah, with the universe or whatever the spaceship.
So is that like a cult or?
Yeah, I'd say it is.
Okay.
I mean, they're all walking around, they're all dressed alike, and they're not saying anything. They look like zombies, literally.
Did they all point at you and go,
I'm just like, it made me uncomfortable. I mean,
like your body snatchers?
It was really, it was bizarre. I mean,
they're waiting on the Atlas 3L, 3I, whatever.
Whatever, man. If you're a Scientologist, you have that right.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
We're gonna make fun of you though, but we got that
right. Yeah, and there were hundreds
of them. They have their own TV channel and everything.
They were everywhere, and I'm like, how do you get? Where do they find these people? What?
You know what? People subscribe to all manner of belief systems and whatever, and more power to them. Did you get out and engage in civil discourse with them?
Laura, I said, I want to interview one of them, and Laura's like, no, you can't. You know. She's like, no, lock the doors.
You're probably not. You're probably not the person to do that.
I don't know, Fred. He's not threatening by any stretch. He's not physically threatening.
He's one of those guys that goes to the protest and walks around talking about anybody want to talk. Nobody's going to talk to me. You're going to talk to me, and they start blowing horns at you.
Are you finding your newfound interest in Christian apologetics? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what it was. I wanted to go pull a Charlie Kirk on him and say, all right, come on, let me get my table out. And,
now that would truly be a miracle of God. Red Conrad.
Well, don't be careful. We'll have to pull ABC and Jimmy Kimmel your ear in.
Get my suit and tie on.
Don't know what happened to Fred. Well, we canceled him. He said some stuff that he ought not to have said and hurt our ratings.
I'm fascinated by this movement of these people.
Don't read it too much. You might subscribe to it.
That's what I'm going to come back in here looking like Tom Cruise.
Yep. You're about the same height. You're all about the same height. There is that.
Do you do your own stunts? That's the big question.
He does his own stunts.
Your hair's going to come back.
If stunts includes drunkenness, falling off
climbing trees,
climbing trees, falling off docks,
dancing in public.
Yeah, that kind.
Yeah. Fred does his own stunts.
I guess that would qualify. I mean,
remember there in the movie Tropic? Was it Tropical Thunder?
Yeah.
Remember Tom Cruise in there, the bald-headed agent or lawyer?
Yeah, there he is. That's him. He looks just like him.
Yeah.
There you have it.
I want to get up and see you move. I want to see you.
Nobody's ever compared you to Tom Cruise, have they?
I get it compared to Tim Conway. I mean,
well, and that's for a good reason. Anybody out there in radio land or streaming land or whatever it is nowadays, virtually just think of Tim Conway or Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder, and that's Fred.
Did he play the ball? God,
yeah, he was the bald agent, the guy that gets on the phone and he's cussing out the terrorists that are trying to hold him hostage. And you got to go back and look at it. There's a scene where he dances like to, I can't remember what song it was.
It's not a typical Tom Cruise thing. You would look at it and go, that's not anything Tom Cruise would ever do, but apparently.
He did it well. It was good.
Tropic Thunder, huh? That's it's on Netflix. Huh?
Yeah, that's
Probably.
That's I don't know how many Rotten Tomatoes that thing got, but it was a pretty.
I'm just a dude playing a dude acting like another dude. There's so many good one-liners in that movie. It's not funny.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah.
Add it to my repertoire. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's Scientology for you. So
what do you think? What do you think about the whole Jimmy Kimmel incident?
I think that people are misguided on this being a First Amendment issue. It is not a First Amendment issue.
His ratings sucked.
Well, his ratings sucked.
Yeah, his ratings went no good.
We could get canceled any day of the week. I mean,
well, if it was up to ratings, we probably wouldn't be here. But
yeah.
We pay for this time, sir.
Yeah, this costs us money. People out there talking about you have to pay to. Yeah, we're doing this as a public service. By God, y'all just keep in mind we're forking out cash to be able to do
the
this.
public perceives it that way.
It's our gift to the local society.
I mean, they're giving me $20,000 an episode just up here.
Sponsored by Talon Range. Y'all come see us at the range so we can afford this show.
Yeah, no, it's those rules. The FCC licenses public airwaves, and they do and can put restrictions on what you can and can't say on the public airwaves.
He didn't.
And
while I don't agree with anything he said, and it was a blatant whatever. It was a blatant lie. What he said was bad and all that, and there's a lot of people saying a lot of bad things since Charlie Kirk's murder.
Sure.
And all of them have the right to say any of those really bad things.
Sure they
But
do.
you better be willing to suffer the consequences thereof.
Nobody is telling Jimmy Kimmel he can't say what he said.
He can say whatever he wants to. He can go get him a cable network show and say that stuff.
It would only be a
whatever.
First Amendment violation if the government put him in jail for saying
That would be a First Amendment violation.
That would be a First Amendment violation. But you losing your job because you said something stupid
And your ratings suck.
and your ratings are bad ain't a First Amendment violation.
And they're saying, oh, well, the FCC commissioner threatened to yank his license. Well, the FCC commissioner was interviewed on a podcast and said we will look into whether or not he violated the rules.
Right.
That's what he said. And if you go look at the rules, and I have, there's a pretty good case that he did violate the rules.
Yeah, and the guy that did that podcast reached out to two of the national shows that syndicates, and they're going to cancel it.
Well,
so
these are the corporations that own the
take them off.
affiliates, and you got to understand the difference between an affiliate license to use the public airways versus a Fox News cable channel.
Right.
Completely different licenses, governed by completely different rules.
Yeah, which is why Greg Gutfield can get on there and drop F-bombs and all that stuff on television and not get beeped, and Fox Cable or Fox News not get in trouble.
Right.
It's not going over the public airways.
Correct. So it's cable.
Right. It's not being broadcast.
And it's so complicated, nobody knows the difference. I mean, I struggle to understand it, nor do I care. If I saw Jimmy Kimmel show on my and I'm streaming it off of a Starlink connection, I'm streaming that, and I walk in the room and it's on, I turn the channel even if I'm not going to watch it, because I don't want anybody anywhere to be able to say, oh, well, that we can check the box, that location was watching that
it
show.
comes on too late at night for me. I'm asleep by then.
None of those shows were funny to begin with. I mean, Colbert.
Not since David Letterman and Johnny Carson.
It's funny.
It's so political.
Well, I used to love Johnny Carson.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Carson was
good. And so if you go back to Jimmy Kimmel, who was the other guy? There were two of them.
I was going to say that in my
Stephen Colbert.
my generation doesn't know really, but like
Jay Leno.
I was going to say
Leno
it died as a medium late night. Really died when Leno retired.
Yep.
Yeah, it did.
He was
That's right.
the last real funny guy that people actually liked in the stream of Letterman and Carson.
I mean, my favorite was Ed McMahon, because all he did was sit there and go, yeah!
but wasn't Jimmy Kimmel, wasn't he one of the guys on the Man Show or something? Or was that somebody else? There were two guys on there, and one went ultra conservative and one went ultra liberal, and they parted ways. And but here's the thing: is There's what's the one that took the place of Johnny Carson, the most modern version of that?
Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon.
See,
Yeah.
I can watch him because he just makes jokes, and it's not like uber one way or the other. It's not an enjoyable show.
Not only that, he was in the Blue Oyster Cult skit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, we'll be
Cowbell.
More cowbell.
And we're back. So I did look up, and the Man Show was Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And they went two different ways. Jimmy Kimmel became uber left, and Adam Carolla went uber right. And I don't know that they even speak anymore. But, Adam Carolla sort of fell off the radar because, it just is what
Was
it
that
is.
the show they had the girls jumping on the trampoline?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that show.
Now I know why Charlie watched it.
No, it was just the thing.
Benny Hill show.
But all right, so I want to cover. This would be a good segment to cover this. The dangers of AI. Preston had something on in the last few weeks. He was lamenting the AI stuff, and I will tell you there's a perfect example of why you don't. If you use AI, which is actually a good tool to just push a button, ask a question, get an answer, but you need to go back and dig deeper. You need to look at that and actually research what it tells you, because it's not always right, particularly when it comes to legal stuff,
Yeah,
Fred.
law.
That has happened. There have been reported cases recently where lawyers have used the AI function of some of these research, like LexisNexis and Westlaw, and it spits out briefs for them, and they cite cases that either A, don't exist, or
Do your due diligence.
or B, they
Poorly
are-
interpreted.
They are cited for a proposition that they do not stand for.
Okay. All right. So don't use AI for stuff. I like using it, but then I research everything that it refers to and make sure that it's correct. This came up today because I saw an article written, and it came out of the Tampa Tribune or Tampa Bay Times or something, and it was republished. And it said something about open carry. Open carry is now the law of the land. And yes, I know it doesn't. The mandate's in a few days, but the AG has said he's not going to enforce it. So it is now the law of the land. Nobody's making arrests under that unless they want to get sued. And so it goes back to, y'all quit distracting me. What are y'all doing? Playing games?
There's something in the spittoon over there in the corner.
And y'all are
I
just-
made 2 points from
Y'all
way
are
out.
like
That's a
sending
3-point
signals to
line.
each other.
I don't know.
You know how I am.
Sorry.
Sorry.
The AG.
So anyway, so the problem is that so this came out, and geez, man, really,
I didn't do anything.
y'all are like a bunch of children sometimes in this studio.
I was just looking at JD.
And JD's egging it on. He's like the guy over there just making it happen.
Paul's not. I can't even see him.
Well, I love y'all, but sometimes
I got my gun on, and I'm carrying openly. You don't want to mess with me today. Go ahead.
I got mine on too, but
1, 2,
this
3.
is a polite society, isn't it?
Yes,
all
it
right, so to the point of this,
AI.
it started talking about the article mentioned how you could not carry on a college campus unless you were a student, faculty, or staff, and then it stopped there, okay, which is not true. What the statute says is that, let's see, any college or university facility, unless the licensee is a registered student, employee, or faculty member of such college or university, and the weapon is a stun gun or non-lethal electric weapon or device designed solely for defensive purposes, and the weapon does not fire a dart or projectile. So you can carry a stun gun that doesn't fire a dart or pepper spray if you're student, faculty, or staff. You cannot carry a firearm on a college campus.
That sounds to me
In a
like, Charlie,
facility.
that I just thought of something. There's a certain company that advertises projectile firing pepper balls and impact weapons. That sounds like something, and they say it's legal to carry on campuses and all this other yada yada.
You
Not by that
cannot carry. You
statute.
cannot carry a Byrna
I wasn't gonna say it.
pepper ball firing device on a college campus
Because it has a projectile.
because it fires a projectile. Now let's go over this. I don't want to run out of time in this segment. Okay, so in Florida, because I got Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. In Florida, in order to carry a firearm openly or concealed, first you have to be eligible to get a permit. You can't be a felon. You have to be you have to be a
21.
law-abiding citizen. You have to be able to possess a firearm. But in Florida, you cannot carry in a place of nuisance. Well, what is a place of nuisance? That is a house of prostitution or a drug
Gambling.
den or a gambling facility.
Or my house.
Typically, that is a place of nuisance. All right. A police, sheriff, or highway patrol station can't carry in the police department or the sheriff's office. No detention facility, prison, or jail. So if you carry it in, you probably won't be able to leave. You cannot carry into a courthouse, and they will make sure you know that when you try to pass the metal detector. Any courtroom, except that a judge can say, yes, I'm carrying a gun, or I will allow you to carry a gun. But the judge is not going to probably tell you that, especially if you're Fred. You cannot carry in a polling place, so you cannot go into a place to vote with a gun on, openly or concealed. This applies to all of these.
That's not year-round. That's just while the election's happening.
Only during the
Polling
time
hours.
during polling hours. So you could go in before and after, but not then. On any other day, let's say it's in your church, that does, just because it's a polling
the
place
library
doesn't
or the
mean,
where,
right,
yeah.
right. So
Library's a government building, so.
no, you can carry in a government building. Okay. Any meeting of the governing body of a county, public school district, municipality, or special district. So if they're having a public meeting, say city commission meeting, county commission meeting, school board meeting, you cannot carry in there. You can carry into the Tallahassee City Hall, but you cannot go into the city commission meeting. Okay, that's specific. You cannot carry into the courthouse regardless. You can't go see your county commissioner with a gun on because their offices is in the county courthouse. But you can go into City Hall with a gun, and I've done it, and explained to the guys at the door that I'm not going to a meeting. I met with the then mayor with the gun on, and I told them I was going to meet with the mayor with a gun on, and they said, just don't shoot him. But any meeting, that's not the current mayor, any meeting of the legislature or committee thereof. You can go into the capital of the state of Florida carrying a gun, but you cannot go into a legislative meeting or a committee meeting with a gun on. But you can walk into the state capitol of the state of Florida now under law. This has been going on for years. All right, any school, college, or professional athletic event not related to firearms. So if it's like we had the tournament at my place where we had the skeet shoots for the Marion FFA. If that wasn't a skeet shoot and it was not related to firearms because it's a school-sponsored event, you wouldn't have been able to carry there because regardless of the property, you can't have it as a school-sponsored event. So you can't go to the high school football game with a gun on. And that's also on school property generally. No elementary or secondary school facility or administration building. So you can't go into your school and pick up your kid, leave it in the car, which is perfectly legal in the car. Yeah. Any career center, says elementary or secondary school facility or administration building. It doesn't mention public, private, anything. No career center, which would be like Lively or, some educational facility. And here's another one. Any portion of an establishment licensed to dispense alcoholic beverages for consumption on the premises, which portion of the establishment is primarily devoted to such purpose. What that means is, if you go to, say, Beef O'Brady's or Applebee's, and you can go into the restaurant with a gun on, as long as the private property owner doesn't say no. If they say no, then you have to leave. Now, you're not violating the law by going in with the gun. You're violating the law if you refuse to leave when they tell you to.
Yeah, you commit a felony. It's armed trespass.
If you stay after they tell you to leave. But you're not committing a crime by going in. But you would be committing a crime if you refuse to leave. If you want to stand there and show your butt and prove a point, you're committing a felony from the moment they say, I want you to leave.
If you don't turn around right then and there and go out the door.
Right. So you'd be calling Fred to defend you. And he'll try to find you a good deal.
I will.
So now it says a portion of the establishment licensed to dispense alcoholic beverage for consumption on the premises. That's the bar. You cannot go into, let's say, a Beef O'Brady's or Applebee's and go sit at the bar with your gun on. You can, however, go sit in the restaurant and drink. You just cannot be intoxicated and display a firearm, have it readily available for immediate use. That means having it in your hands. So that's another law, but the no college or university facility unless the licensee is a registered student, and you cannot carry, just know that you cannot carry on a college or university facility. That's
in a building.
In a building. You can leave it in your car. Okay. All right. The inside of a passenger terminal, sterile area of any airport. Or any place where carrying a firearm is prohibited by federal law. That would be the post office or Social Security office. Any dadgum federal building you go to, they're not going to let you have a gun in. It's against the law.
And once you get into that Fed issue, if it's federal anything, do not go anywhere near that place.
Notice it didn't say anything about banks.
You can carry in a bank. You can carry in a government building. You
I had
can
a
carry in
customer
those places.
argue with me to great lengths a couple days ago
In
about
that law right
City
there,
Bank
that
is
is
a
what I
not a
just
federal
read
building.
you, folks.
Correct.
What I just read you is 7900612, Florida statute 790.06, paragraph 12. Read that. That is specifically the places you cannot carry. There are no other places that you're not allowed to carry, but exercise caution. Now, now you have to be 21 or above. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, we'll hit Alabama real quick. It's the same list. They passed this law in 2023 in Alabama, but you can be 19 or older in Alabama because they have a little more common sense. Maybe 19-year-olds are more mature there. It's the same dadgum list. It's like they copied and pasted all the way down to places of nuisance, polling places. These are restricted during times polls are open. Establishment to serve alcohol in the primary location that is licensed to dispense alcohol for on-site consumption. Airports, college, university facilities, professional, school, college athletic events, educational facilities. Don't snatch that out of my hand while I'm reading it.
Bottom one.
Okay. Government buildings and courts. Now, this does include in Alabama, you're not allowed to carry into a police, sheriff, highway patrol station, courthouses, city hall, and meetings. So they did include city hall here, where Florida did not. So if you're listening in Alabama. Now, Georgia's a different list. Jails, churches, unless you have specific permission to carry within 150 feet of a polling place, mental health facilities, nuclear power facility, airports, and schools. It does not mention college campuses because I think you can carry on college campuses in Georgia based on their laws. And that's 21 and above. So
they do specifically say K through 12.
It says K through 12 school property or buildings, school functions and activities on the K through 12 school buses and school furnished transportation vehicles. That's in Georgia. So that's all information. Go back and listen to that again if you need to, or look those laws up. But don't use AI because it'll steer you wrong. We'll be right back. And we're back. So this portion of the show, the bottom of the hour, airs out of at 103.9 out of Dothan in the Wiregrass areas, 100,000 watts. It goes all the way down. You can hear it in Bluntstown. You can hear it way up. So this overlaps everything. So this is primarily our North Florida and South Alabama audience listening. So we can continue this conversation. So I think on the break, I think, Paul, you mentioned bar, and you cannot carry in a bar. Now, that means if you go to Cowboys in Dothan, bless your heart, if you go there, that's where I met my first wife. I hadn't been back.
That bad?
Okay. I ain't gonna say it was. I've had finer moments, and when someone approaches you in a bar in South Alabama, and they're in the Army, it's probably not a good sign. So I'm just saying.
So I got a question for you.
But don't carry a gun there. I know you might have a knife.
In Alabama, in Florida, there are some bars you can go into as an 18-year-old. Well, they'll put a wristband on you and say you can't drink. You go in the bar because there's some here in Tallahassee, College Town, whatever. In Alabama, you can't go in a bar at 19. So I got a question for you. What about the Flora-Bama bar that sits right straddling the Florida-Alabama line? Can you go in half of it and can't go the other half?
They have a line down the middle of it or something?
Yes. Oh, they do have a line down.
Hey, don't cross that line.
I got thrown out of that. Well, never mind. That's a whole nother story.
Well, we met that fella there one time, didn't we?
We met the owner up there at an event.
Didn't he invite you back?
He did. He gave me I'm the guy that owns it. Here's my card. You get a free drink on me next time you come by.
Did you tell him you were trespassed?
I met that guy in a tiki bar in the Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands.
That does not surprise me, Fred.
I would say I got thrown out of a tiki bar one time back in my younger days, but I actually fell out of the tiki bar down in Alamorada.
You did not mean to be drunk.
I did. I fell over the wall and fell out, and they wouldn't let me back in. So does that qualify as getting thrown out, or is that just I don't know. You get a redo on that the next day?
He DFO'd. He done fell out the bar.
I done fell out the bar. I have fell out of a bar.
When you're too drunk to stay in the bar, you should not be allowed to go back in the bar. I'm just saying.
Well,
We had pulled up to Joe's Van Dyke.
You don't want to do that about Lavilla and Spinnaker back in the day, because if you fell out the back, it's about 20 feet down to the beach. Well, they're all gone now, I think.
I went by there not too long ago. Yeah, it was. They were one of them. I think Lavilla's completely gone, and Spinnaker looked like something out of a post-apocalyptic
I think they're
movie.
Man, that was a scene of many crimes there. I used to like sit on the back deck and watch people get in fights. Yeah, I remember sitting there, old high school buddy of mine. We were sitting there, and I said, "See," and I'd been through the academy, and I was a young police officer at the time, and I'm looking out there, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "Hey, those two right there fixing to fight." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Those two are fixing to fight. They're fixing to tie up," and you could see because they had bladed.
Locked eyes.
And they had the body language, and it was fixing to happen.
Did the one from Alabama light a cigarette first?
No, but they tied up, and it was slinging and all kinds, just everything going on. He goes, "How'd you do that?" And I said, I just body language, man. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I thought I was smart, but, I could recognize
if you're about to get in a fight with somebody from Alabama and they light a cigarette, take a couple puffs on it, they getting ready to thump that in your face right before they punch you.
That's going to happen?
I've seen it happen. Yeah.
I just saw that movement with Charlie's hands. That was one of the most redneck classic moves when he said bladed.
Yeah.
Did you see his hands?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, jeez. Can't take him anywhere. I mean, not even in here.
What are you talking about?
That movement you just made with your hands when you said bladed. You went bladed.
Well, I mean, my mother's Italian, man. I speak with my hands sometimes.
Well, you did. I got the message loud and clear.
It's the knife hands.
Well, it makes for good radio. You act things out, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like if you get on the phone, people can sort of they say if you're talking to somebody on the phone and you want to sound friendly, smile while you're talking on the phone, because it will actually.
That's right.
People can sense it. I don't know if that's true.
People
or
like
not,
me because I smile all the time and I always sound friendly.
That's because you're laughing at them, not with them.
No, I'm not.
He does smile all the time. I'll give you that.
I'm a happy guy.
You are, pretty much.
I smile more now than I ever have in my life, because I think y'all are all funnier now. Anyway, we'll be right back. And we're back. So Fred brought up on the break that we try to get people to purchase Right to Bear, specifically their product, because for self-protection. And it's not insurance, but it's kind of insurance. It's a plan where you prepay
legal representation.
Yeah, you pay every month a small fee. It's less than $20. It's in the teens somewhere, and I don't remember the exact amount, but it varies. It goes up every year too. But you kind of get locked in, and what that does is it pays for your civil and your criminal legal fees if you are charged or sued for using force with any weapon, any force in self-defense. That means running over with a car, or punching them in the nose, or whatever you got to do. But it covers you in your civil suits and for your criminal charges. And one of the things that we like about Right to Bear is it allows you to use your own attorney. Now, Fred is, a lot of y'all might not know this, but Fred is, in fact, a defense attorney. I know it's hard to tell by the way he acts sometimes. But he actually is a good defense attorney, and I have low standards. And Fred you can't actually advertise like that as being an attorney, but I can talk about you, right?
No. I can. There's nothing. This is not an advertisement. A client called. This is a real life situation.
Disclaimer right there.
A client called this week, or a prospective client called, and said, "Hey, I've listened to your show," and I said, "I'm sorry," and I didn't actually talk to him. He talked to my secretary and wanted to know, could he list me as his preferred lawyer on his Right to Bear application form? And the answer is, yeah, you can list me on there. And not only that, if you want to list me on there, if you want to call and talk to me or set up a conference, come in and meet with me and see that, yeah, I really do exist. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, the way that works is Right to Bear's attorneys will vet a local attorney and see that, this person is experienced enough and capable of presenting a valid defense for you, and then they will work on paying that attorney's fees. I don't know all the nuances and the details, but it's something if you are purchasing Right to Bear and you want to use, and I'll be honest with you, I would rather use a local attorney that has relationships, not relations, Fred, relationships with the prosecutors, the state attorney's office, the other attorneys in town that might sue you. It's better to have someone who understands the local market, in my mind. So that's one of the biggest reasons we use them, is because they allow you to use your own attorney.
Well, I mean, you look at some of these high-profile cases where they brought in these Miami lawyers, and you watch
They lose a lot.
You watch how they're treated. I mean, it's my cousin Vinny all over again. I mean, it's It a lot of times you bring in these fancy silk suit lawyers that from South Florida that come up and don't know how we do business here, and you know they won't file all these motions. And when you simply
I had a
just sit
case
down
one
and talk
time.
to
This has
somebody and
been
work it out.
this has been eons ago when I was at FSU Police Department. I arrested a kid, which was our policy to arrest anybody that tried to steal any books, literature, magazines, anything from Strozier Library. Okay? I mean, it was just you gave them a notice to appear unless it was a felony, a book that was worth a bunch of money. You gave them a notice to appear, and that was just the policy of the university, and I was the enforcer thereof. And I arrested this kid via notice to appear in court on a theft of a magazine, a $6 magazine, okay, that he didn't even get to leave with. And it was a Olympic swimmers magazine, something, whatever, that he was in. It was an article about him in the magazine. And he found a copy of it in Strozier Library and tried to leave the library with it. And he got charged on a misdemeanor petty theft. And apparently he came from an affluent family somewhere in South Florida. And they flew an attorney up here for a trial
on a $6 magazine?
On a $6 magazine. Paid no telling how much money for this, and still lost.
Oh boy!
And it was just me and a junior misdemeanor state attorney that had 47 other court cases that day, and they flew a $30,000 an hour lawyer up here, whatever. I don't know what it cost them. And I was like, hey man, if you'd just gone in there and said, I'm sorry, I would like misdemeanor diversion, they'd let you go, no problem, whatever else. But you get my point of all that is their lawyer was more than happy to take their money and get on that airplane for the day and go to Tallahassee to court in his $1,000 suit and all this stuff.
Yeah, that lawyer won the case when the check cleared.
Yeah, and literally pranced in the courtroom like he was the king boss and lost.
Still lost.
Yeah.
Still lost.
It does not. You bring a South Florida lawyer into a North Florida courtroom, especially one of the outlying courtrooms in the circuit, it usually doesn't end well.
Yeah, and it's like you and I've had this conversation, Fred. Like when I go on vacation somewhere to a state that ain't necessarily friendly to the way I think about things. I ain't gonna hire you to represent me in New York, but I bet you know somebody in New York. You know a guy that you can say, hey, this is right.
And I do even in. I mean, I'll take a case every now and then in Panama City, but not often. I usually go.
Not this district. It's out of this
not
circuit.
My circuit.
Yep.
I've done a few in South Florida, and that's happened to me.
Yeah,
I tried a case in Key West one time. That was bizarre. I mean,
well, Key West is kind of bizarre.
Yeah, probably because you were dancing on the palm.
Yeah, you probably fell out of the tiki bar right before.
They're like, we got footage of this guy.
He fell out of the tiki bar last night.
Fred was probably trespassed from the Keys.
I think I was after that weekend.
Yeah, but you were celebrating your loss.
That trial was. I was representing a cop. I think he was on his third DUI. Oh boy! And I tell you.
My Lord.
It's Key West, so, I mean.
Marginally acceptable.
Yeah.
Apparently two
we
of us.
tried to pull off on the side road, which there were none.
It went in the beach.
I think they kick you out of the force on your sixth.
Jesus. Oh, good Lord.
And I think the judge was hammered, too, during the trial. It was, and the prosecutor was like, recently pregnant and had morning sickness, and she hated me. Yeah, I thought she was going to yak on me every time she made an objection.
I will say people do not realize the value of networks, relationships, being able to have conversations with people, work things out. Sometimes because most cases, correct me if I'm wrong, Fred, most criminal charges don't actually make it to trial.
They don't. You'd be surprised. And of the trials that happen in courts. Criminal cases are the ones most often tried, and the ones that are tried are about less than 10%.
That actually go to
that
court.
actually go to
Yeah.
trial.
The rest of the time, it's negotiating and it's leveraging relationships and because the thing is if you're talking to the same people all the time in these cases, you're defending
Sure.
people. There's the same prosecutors, same state attorneys that you're dealing with, and you know which ones lean this way or that way or
Well,
whatever. And the thing is just being able to have a civil
With
discourse.
crimes in general, you have one or two maybe at most crimes committed, right? At a single event, you've got one event. There's usually multiple crimes on a single event. You've got the conspiracy to do it in the first place. You got all this other stuff.
And the resisting
Right.
when the arrest
The resisting
occurred.
after all of these charges, you can end up with dozens of charges based on one single event. So a good defense attorney, even if they know that their guy is the guy and he's the bad guy and he done something wrong and he needs to go to jail, you can go in there and weed out some of those tertiary.
Well, you can't try all
charges.
the criminal cases.
Right.
So the prosecutor's going to triage the bad ones.
Right, and get rid of those and
you
get to the point and all that good stuff.
But if you're a jerk, and if you hire a jerk for a lawyer, that prosecutor, even if you've got a good case as a defense lawyer, he's not going to triage your case because you've been a jerk. And I've been a prosecutor. I know these things.
Yeah, you're going to get all of them.
I am tired of that guy. I'm going to kick him around the courtroom.
Well, there is discretion involved from the moment that you encounter law enforcement on behalf of that officer discretion, all the way up to
the state attorney.
The state attorney and the judge and everything else. And the judge is bound by a lot of things, but that judge make decisions based off how they view things.
Okay.
They've got guidelines to follow in sentencing, but you know what? They may feel
They put their
generous that
pants
day.
on just like you do.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that wear pants.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there you
then I
go.
have nothing on
Might
under
put
the
on your
robe.
skirt. You never know. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, on the break, Paul, you brought up, we mentioned discretion before we left, and you said, JD, you and Charlie are law enforcement. Do people get a break if they're polite and yes sir, no sir? I will tell you absolutely.
Yep.
You are. Now, there's cops out there that are, just the facts, ma'am, by the book, Joe Friday, I'm going to do the same thing all the time. But I will tell you, human nature comes into play. Mm-hmm. And JD mentioned that, he reserved his citation book for the people who didn't know how to act right.
Yeah.
And so you absolutely, and there's a guy that's out of Arkansas that's an online, an attorney who is publishing a lot of stuff out there, and he's talking about, just because you can be a butthole doesn't mean you need to be, because it will, you just, the minute you get pulled over, what comes out of your mouth either helps build your case or dig you a hole.
That's right.
Whether you make admissions, Fred can tell you, if you start making admissions, then that digs you a hole. But if you start being a jerk, now you don't have any reason. You don't have to yes sir, no sir. You don't have to be polite. You don't have to do any of that.
Of authority.
But you don't have to.
Bad.
You have the right to say anything you want to say. But with that right comes consequences.
That's right. There you go.
And
just like Jimmy Kimmel.
I tell people in active shooter training, I go, well, when you're running out of the building in an active shooter situation, leave all your stuff because you need to have nothing in your hand. You're running out. You got law enforcement officers running to the scene, rushing to the scene. They're going through physiological, psychological stress indicated. They've got tunnel vision, auditory exclusion. They're going through the same things that you suffer as a citizen. They're running in there, and you're running out, and you've got something in your hand, and you fit the description of what they were given. You might get shot. Leave your stuff. Put your phone in your pocket. Leave everything else on the ground. Run out. Show them your hands. When they yell at you and tell you to do things in the route to you, you can file a complaint. File a complaint later on if you don't agree with what happened. Same thing on a traffic stop. Just don't make admissions. Don't do anything that you don't have to. I would not personally. If somebody can I search your car, I would not allow them to.
I would.
I wouldn't allow anyone to search my car, and I'm a cop.
But you can decline that politely.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not going to
all they
consent
gotta do
to
is
searching my
call
vehicle.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So somebody goes,
I gotta go.
do you mind if I look in your
speeding for a reason.
do you have anything in your car I need to be concerned with? Hand grenades, anything gonna hurt me, anything like that? You might no, sir. Do you mind if I look? Yes, sir, I do mind. I'm sorry. I'm politely gonna decline.
Because I got to go.
I gotta go.
If
have you met my wife?
Whatever
You
else
know
we
what
need to
happens if
do,
I lie.
whatever else we need to do here, please go ahead and do it. But I have somewhere to be, and I know I don't have any reason to let you look in my car. There's no reason for you to look in my car unless you have probable cause. No, sir.
So I always tell clients when you get stopped, always have your insurance, registration, driver's license handy.
Yeah, don't be digging for
Don't
it.
be digging through stuff. So and I took my own advice. Got pulled over once in Jacksonville. As God walks up, I've got it sitting out the window, handing it to him. He took that to mean I'd been pulled over multiple times and knew exactly what he meant. He's like, he went running back.
Pro at this, huh?
He's like, I thought I'd find a bunch of speeding tickets on him. I said, no, I usually get out of them.
Well, I got a question here.
Yeah.
Being in a rush, right? This happened to me this past summer when my wife and I welcomed child number 2. If you've ever heard a story or seen, the husband, dad, that is absolutely flying to the hospital. Have you heard of that?
If they're heading towards the hospital,
Get out of their way.
I put my blinders on and I don't
Turn
see 'em
around.
because I know that's the hospital direction, and they look like they're in a panic.
You see a husband fly. Because I thought about that, because our child was born, labor was 3 hours. It was fast.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, in the wrong traffic jam, I'm delivering the baby, and I'm like, I gotta go.
Did that on Appalachia Parkway
so-
way out one time.
Really?
The lady left, I want to say left Perry coming to Tallahassee
Oh.
and made it to about where Nino's is or was on Appalachia Parkway.
I did
Honda
one.
Accord, front seat.
I pulled one over one time that was speeding in front of my house out in Cherish community, and I just got home from work, pulled in my yard, and it was right through the school zone, right past my house, and I chased him down. I jumped back in the car and I hauled butt and went up there and I stopped him on the parkway, and I got out, and I was mad, trying to breathe, calm down. I walked up to the car and I said, "Afternoon, ma'am. I'm Lieutenant Strickland, Leon County Sheriff's Office. The reason I stopped you today is you were speeding in excess of the posted speed limit in the school zone. I know it was after hours, but still, you went right past my house going 90 to nothing. Can you please explain to me why that would have occurred?" And she's sitting there, and there's a dog between them, standing between her and her daughter in the front seat. And that's when I noticed the smell. And I said, "What?" She goes, "Well, do you have to ask?" And that's when I smelled the dog feces, and I looked in the back seat, and it was smeared from one end of the car to the other, all on them, the front of the dog, everywhere. And I said, "And you have a nice day." And I got back to my car and I went home.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. I had the wrong car.
I'm like, I'd have done that too.
I was going to say something, but
Well, let's talk about fishing.
All right, yeah, let's talk about fishing.
We had a great time down at the river.
They had some stink bait in there.
Yeah. Fred, you ain't never used that stinky catfish bait, have you? That's so nasty. Kind of like eating anchovies.
Talk about that trip.
That was fun down there, Jay.
It
We
was.
didn't
We had
catch
a
a
good
bunch
time.
of fish, but we had a great time. And I want y'all to know, all y'all listeners out there, Mr. JD, that joker can throw a crankbait. You don't fish every day.
Oh, no, I probably don't fish every month.
And my God, you was putting that thing. He'd put that thing between there'd be a branch coming up, and he'd hit it right between it. You would have seen it.
well, did you
That was-
catch
that-
anything?
Well, he had a giant about a 4-pound mudfish on. He got off.
I lost a good one, though.
That was
Remember,
a good- yeah,
about
that was a
halfway
good
to the
one.
boat.
That was
I
a
did.
good
We
one.
did
Wait a
catch
minute,
I think that one was a bass.
Was a mudfish?
all
Were they weighing those in?
No.
too?
No, we were fishing for bass.
All right.
But it was beautiful down there.
We caught some small ones. We caught, I think, 2 keepers. We fished all day, caught 2 keepers, caught some smaller ones. I caught a bass that wasn't a whole lot bigger than the crankbait I was pulling.
Now, how'd you like the hotel?
Very nice.
It was nice.
I told you it was nice.
I'm gonna take the family back down there and
it's a
put my
nice
boat
place.
in the boat slip. It is Water Street.
Yeah, Water Street Inn.
Water Street Inn. It was very nice.
Bed was very comfortable, very, very nice.
So I texted Lauren Whaley
Yes.
just a minute ago before we started the show, and he said that 18 pounds. Let's see, 18.33 pounds by somebody named Mr. Dykes and Mr. Bailey. The big fish was 6.37 pounds by Shane Sims. So
Yeah.
big fish. Yeah, I hung a big one on the crankbait and got it about halfway to the boat, or then it come off. But
I was
anyway,
getting
that's fishing.
strange text from you Saturday night. I don't.
You were getting strange texts from me Saturday
asking
night.
about my clothing or something. I don't know
I
what
was
that was
not.
about. I don't know. It came up under your name.
I think I got that too.
What
Fred.
you wearing?
Saturday night?
Maybe it was Friday night. I don't know. It was one of
I
the
was
nights.
home Saturday night.
Well, it must
I
have
didn't
been
text
Friday
you
night.
nothing. I don't know what you talking about.
Sometimes I
You
get
got the
text
wrong
from Fred. It's
somebody.
10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
You never know. I mean, I'm
You done got the wrong somebody, Fred. I ain't texted you
could have
about
been.
nothing.
Well, I want to know what I was wearing.
But anyway, just let everybody
You
know
must have
there's a
been
high
dreaming.
school tournament this weekend. up
Oh,
in
I did.
Seminole.
I did send you a text. I want to know what size T-shirt
So
you
there's
wore.
a high. Oh, y'all. What?
Florida Bass Nation, probably about 100 boats, and I know the show plays on Saturday, but Saturday and Sunday, so Lake Seminole is going to be a little busy. But the bass have been biting. I got some revenge on bass up this past
Nice.
week, JD, but they've been biting really good up there. The fall feed is definitely on. I know it's starting to warm back up now. You know, the day of it's going to be like 94, 95 this weekend, but man, that cool weather has merely got
Still
the
going
fish
to be
fired
cool
up.
in the mornings.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
got some cloud cover, a front moving through first of the week. Hopefully get some rain.
When's the front coming?
I think I saw Monday maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so the doves ought to be flying on Sunday because they're going to move in ahead of the
Been
front.
seeing a few teal.
Have you?
Yeah,
before
that starts
front.
this weekend.
Right ahead of that front.
Today, the 20th
starts
is
today.
opening weekend of. So everybody listened to the radio show this morning in Tallahassee. If it sounded like a young war wherever you are, it's because wood duck and teal season started this morning. I get that call from my in-laws who are originally from Miami. Will call me. What in the world was going on this duck season, rabbit season, duck season, something or other.
The call I get is from my kids wanting to borrow my guns.
Yeah. So well, that's good. I will give warning to the folks hunting on Lake Ammonia. Their lake is still full of black-bellied whistling ducks, and they are not legal to shoot during the early.
You hear
early
that,
season.
kids? Like, if your last name is Conrad, don't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of guns, before we go, don't forget that the sales tax holiday for firearms, accessories, and fishing supplies, is still in effect all the way through the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now, business has
Wow,
been
that's
off the hook,
We
So,
finally got mostly restocked right now for however long that lasts
So
from the first week of
This
the
is a
onslaught.
great time to save 7.5% on a personal defense firearm or hunting firearm or anything like
Scopes,
that. Just come
ammo,
on,
all that.
absolutely. This is the time to do it. Go ahead and get it now while it's in stock. We'll see y'all next time.
See you.